Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive.
From AI-inspired insights from farmers.
If you're enjoying what we're doing here, we'd love to hear from you too.
Absolutely.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely leave a comment telling us what you want to see more of on this deep dive.
We're always looking for new ideas, and we really value your feedback.
So what farm-related mysteries are you dying to uncover?
Right.
What questions are keeping you up at night? Let us know, and maybe we'll tackle them in a future deep dive.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into something really interesting, how data and artificial intelligence can shake things up in farming. We're especially thinking about you if you're maybe new to farming or perhaps thinking about starting your own place. Now, bringing tech like AI into farming might sound a bit, well, intimidating, but our mission here is simple. We want to pull out the absolute key insights from a whole bunch of sources. We'll show how data and AI can help make your farm more efficient, sustainable, and hopefully help you make better decisions right from the start without getting bogged down in jargon. We've looked at everything, academic papers on AI for crop planning, industry reports, all sorts to give you a solid picture.
Exactly. The goal is really to make clear how these tools are already changing agriculture in practical ways, and crucially, how you can actually start using these ideas even if you're just beginning. We'll be looking at data-backed strategies, covering the whole process from deciding what to plant and when, right through to managing potential pests on your land.
Okay, sounds good. Let's kick things off with something we're calling playlist for your plot. So planning your crop rotation, the sequence you grow things in, it's like putting together a really complex playlist, isn't it? Traditionally, you're juggling loads of information, your specific soil type, what the weather's been like, which crops actually do well after others. It can be a lot, especially when you're new.
It really can.
Mhm.
Yeah, traditional planning often relies heavily on, years of experience, maybe some rules of thumb passed down. What's exciting now is how AI offers a way to sort of upgrade your planning plan right from the get-go. And this is so important for keeping your soil healthy, its structure and nutrients, and for managing pests naturally and ultimately getting the best yield from your land. AI systems are just incredibly good at crunching huge amounts of detailed data.
Think about it like this. An AI can look at super specific details about your farm. Things like the exact nutrient levels in different parts of your field, the slope of the land, the topography, how water drains, even things like where pests or diseases have shown up before in your area. And all that helps create rotation strategies that are really tailored, truly specific to your farm.
And this isn't just theory. There's research showing data analytics and AI being used successfully already. For instance, they've significantly boosted efficiency and output in things like grape growing through better seasonal rotation planning. There's one particular study on AI and data-driven crop rotation planning that's really interesting. It basically combines known farming wisdom with real-world data, like satellite images that show crop yield indicators, NDVI it's called, to figure out the best crop sequences.
Okay, and here's a really cool part. The researchers actually trained a specific type of AI. It's called a reinforcement learning agent. They essentially taught it to come up with realistic crop rotation plans using all this data. It's almost like training a computer to be an incredibly experienced farmer, but one that can process way more information than any person could.
Precisely. And what's really promising is that when actual crop rotation experts and farmers looked at the sequences the AI came up with, they found a lot of them were quite realistic and they followed established farming rules. It just highlights how AI could be a genuinely useful assistant, even for farmers who've been doing this for years.
Right, and anyone who's tried mapping out rotations for, say, 5 or 7 years knows there are just so many possibilities. It's huge. It's what scientists call a combinatorial problem. AI can really help cut through that complexity, finding plans that balance profit with keeping your soil healthy long term.
Yeah, and it's worth noting there are already some tools out there, like Rotor, which is rule-based, designed for organic farms, and another called Fruitfolge, which is open source and uses big data for decision support.
True. But what seems unique about this AI approach we're discussing is that reinforcement learning aspect. It means it can generate these rotation plans almost instantly, adapting to different factors. That feels like a big step up in speed and flexibility.
Absolutely. And the AI model has this built-in reward system. It encourages good farming practices. So it favors picking successor crops that will actually thrive after the previous one. It considers nitrogen levels in the soil, which is crucial. It makes sure you leave the right breaks between planting certain crops, and it even discourages planting root crops back to back, as that can really deplete the soil.
Okay, so give us an example. How did this look in practice?
Well, the researchers generated some sample 5-year and 7-year rotations using the AI. They used both traditional farming knowledge, like the Colby system, and that satellite data, the NDVI stuff. Then they showed these to experts and farmers.
And what was the feedback?
It was pretty positive overall, though there were some specific suggestions. Like, one expert noted that putting potatoes right before clovergrass felt a bit unusual. Another thought maybe sunflowers would fit better before clover in a sequence. And there were comments about where winter rye might best fit.
So, not perfect out of the box, but showing promise.
Exactly. The validation showed that while some AI sequences needed tweaking, the basic approach is sound. And you can imagine as the AI gets trained on more diverse crop options and gets more feedback, it'll just get better at generating really practical, useful rotations. The big takeaway for you as a new farmer is that AI can offer data-driven suggestions for this really complex part of farming, potentially helping you make smarter choices right from the beginning.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about another absolutely critical area, data-driven soil health. We all know healthy soil is everything in farming, but figuring out exactly what your soil needs, well, sometimes it feels like guesswork, doesn't it?
It definitely can. And this is where AI is truly transformative. It changes how we manage soil by analyzing data to really fine-tune nutrient levels. These algorithms can process information from all sorts of places, sensors you might put in your fields, historical data about your land, and of course, soil test results from a lab.
Right, and that leads us into precision farming. The whole idea is tailoring everything you do, planting, watering, fertilizing, very specifically to maximize your yields, while crucially cutting down on input costs like fertilizer and water. Machine learning and the Internet of Things, connected sensors and devices, they're key to making this work.
Exactly. Machine learning is being used to analyze all this farm data. The specific aim is to give you integrated recommendations suggesting not just which crops might suit your soil, but also the right amount of fertilizer to use. There's even a model called precision agriculture being developed. It predicts suitable crops based on how your soil is classified and suggests the best NPK ratios, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium.
So it's moving beyond just general principles or, what worked last year or what the neighbor does. AI can give really intelligent advice specific to your soil, its type, its current condition, and that has a huge impact on your harvest potential. The key insight, I think, is that AI offers a way to manage soil much more precisely, taking out a lot of the guesswork.
And it's interesting, too, the different types of machine learning models they're testing for this. Some research suggests models like SVM support vector machines seem to be more accurate for predicting soil fertility and recommending crops compared to others like naive Bayes or LSTM. This constant improvement in the analytical tools is vital for giving farmers the most reliable advice.
Okay, now let's tackle something that's always on a farmer's mind, new or experienced. Pest and disease prevention.
Ah, yes. And this connects back to crop rotation, actually. Smart rotation, guided by data, is a really fundamental strategy here. By changing up what you plant in a specific spot, you naturally disrupt the life cycles of many common pests and diseases. It reduces the need for, shall we say, more aggressive interventions later. It's a more natural approach.
And potentially saves money, too. But AI adds another layer to this, right?
It does. AI tools can look at historical data, when and where pests and diseases popped up in your region in the past. And based on that, plus current conditions, they can actually forecast the potential for future outbreaks. This predictive power is a massive help, especially if you don't have decades of personal experience observing patterns on your land.
So you get a heads up.
Pretty much. It lets you put preventative measures in place before things get serious. Maybe you slightly adjust your rotation plan for the upcoming season if the data shows a higher risk for a certain disease. This kind of foresight can save a lot of hassle and, frankly, potential crop loss. The takeaway is that AI gives you early warnings, letting you act proactively.
We've talked a lot about the potential. Let's ground this a bit with some real-world case studies. Are people actually using this stuff?
Definitely. There's an industry report on AI in agriculture that forecasts significant growth in the market for these technologies. This isn't just some niche academic thing. It's becoming a real part of modern farming, which suggests it's becoming more accessible for everyone, including new farmers.
And like we talked about earlier, that validation process for the AI crop rotation planner, getting feedback from actual farmers and experts, that really shows the practical potential, doesn't it? It connects the AI theory to on-the-ground farming.
Absolutely. Real-world feedback is crucial. And remember that grape growing example, where experts used data analytics and AI to refine planting programs? That led to measurable improvements in efficiency and production. That's documented. Seeing success in established sectors like that is really encouraging for applying these ideas more broadly.
So looking even further ahead, what does the future of personalized farming look like with AI?
I think the key word is site-specific. AI makes truly personalized advice possible. It can tailor recommendations right down to the unique needs of individual fields, or even smaller zones within fields' microclimates. It considers all those subtle variations. Soil nutrients changing across your land, the slope, drainage, even where pests tend to hang out. This level of detail just wasn't really feasible with older, more generalized approaches.
So instead of getting advice for the whole farm, you get guidance for like this corner versus that corner.
Exactly. That level of granularity. It helps you use resources, water, fertilizer much more efficiently and should lead to better results overall.
Wow.
And it's not just static advice. AI can provide insights almost in real time, giving you updates on crop health, soil moisture, maybe even relevant market prices. This helps you make smarter decisions day to day, reacting quickly to changing conditions.
And you mentioned the predictive side earlier too.
Right, that predictive analytics capability extends beyond just pests. It could potentially forecast other challenges, maybe even shifts in market demand or prices, allowing you to plan ahead and mitigate risks. This forward-looking view can be incredibly valuable, especially when you're navigating the inherent uncertainties in farming.
So the bigger picture seems to be farming becoming more data-driven, definitely more efficient, and hopefully more sustainable too, all helped along by AI.
That's the trajectory, yes, and it opens up real opportunities for people entering the field now.
Okay, now for something special. Our exclusive bonus insight, integrating free AI tools into your crop planning workflow. Look, we get that jumping straight into specialized farm software might not be realistic or even needed when you're just starting out. Big investments, steep learning curve sometimes. But that doesn't mean you can't tap into the power of AI right now.
That's a great point. What's fascinating is how some of the general-purpose AI tools, the ones readily available online, can actually be surprisingly helpful for farming tasks, including planning.
Right, think about those free AI language models everyone's talking about. We won't name specific ones, they change so fast, but you know the type. You can use them in some really practical ways. For instance, found a dense research paper on a crop you're interested in, or soil types like yours. You could ask the AI to summarize the key points for you. It's a massive time saver for digesting complex info.
Or you could use them for brainstorming. Say you need ideas for a crop rotation. You could ask something like, suggest a 3-year rotation for clay soil in a temperate climate that focuses on improving soil health. The AI can pull together suggestions based on the vast amount of agricultural information it's been trained on.
That's clever. And what about preparing to talk to experts?
Yes, if you're going to meet your local agricultural extension agent, or maybe an experienced neighbor farmer, you could use an AI to help you draft really clear, specific questions about the challenges you're facing on your farm. It helps you make the most of their time and expertise.
Good one. What about weather?
Possibly, if you have access to historical weather data for your area, or even detailed forecasts, you could potentially feed that into an AI tool and ask it to help identify potential planting or harvesting windows. It might spot patterns you wouldn't.
Now, there's a big caveat here, isn't there?
Absolutely crucial. Think of these free AI tools as a starting point. A brainstorming partner, maybe. You always need to verify the information they give you, cross-reference it, talk to human experts, use your own local knowledge and observations. They are definitely not a replacement for experience or professional advice.
Right. But they offer a way for new farmers, especially, to start experimenting with a data-informed mindset without needing a big budget. You can begin thinking about your farm management through a data lens right from day one.
Exactly. It empowers you to adopt that strategic, data-aware perspective from the very beginning, which can only be a good thing as you learn and develop your farm.
Okay, so wrapping things up, the main message today seems pretty clear. AI and data aren't some sci-fi future for farming. They're powerful tools, becoming more accessible all the time. They can genuinely help make farming more efficient, more sustainable, and let's be honest, maybe a bit less overwhelming, particularly when you're starting out.
We really hope you'll think about how you might start using some of these ideas on your own farm. Even if it's just using some of those free AI tools for gathering information or kicking around some planning ideas, it's a start.
And to leave you with something to chew on, considering how quickly data is becoming available and how fast AI is developing, what other parts of traditional farming do you think might be completely transformed in the next few years, really empowering individual growers like yourself? We hope this exploration has been valuable. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
Hitting that like button and smash that subscribe.